Welcome to the Neen Valley Role-Playing Association, a group of friends who like to play RPGs. Let's role-playing games and try and have fun. If you like the video, please like and subscribe.
So, gave an account of yourself to the Regar, and they seemed happy with your response, and in fact suggested that you might want to visit them, which is interesting. They told you that perhaps there are some things about your ship that you need to learn, which intrigued you. But then you were called down into the lower levels of Craxis, an area that you'd never been before, where you found the body of a halfling. Well, technically the workers down there had found the body of a halfling, which you think was the halfling that was responsible for the attempted murder, very close to being the actual murder of your Tabaxi friend, who you also visited because he is very old and clearly dying. So you find yourselves, you've investigated so far. This large GIF has turned up and has had a conversation with you. Seems to be associated with Salnam, but you've got no real idea who he is. And so here you are. It's reached the evening, and Lovelaw is champing at the bit to get out into the town and to paint it red. So, what now?
So I think at the end of the last episode, we had a couple of we had identified some avenues of investigation.
Mm-hmm.
One was to ask around to see if anyone saw him arrive on a ship.
Yes.
Second one,
quiet, so you might want to wait until the morning to do that.
yeah. Second one again was to look at his clothes and see if we can identify, what region he came from potentially.
Yes.
Which might give us a clue.
Yes. In actual fact, the GIF, Orax, has said that he will see if he can find out a way to do that.
Yep. And the third one is the one which I am going to do, which is to cast Speak with Dead. Ha!
Nice.
You're going to cast Speak with Dead. Well, you're going to cast Speak with Dead once you've had an opportunity to actually meet with the relevant person, yes?
Yes,
What?
learn.
No, I have Speak with Dead. I can cast Speak with Dead.
But you've got to go and have a rest.
Oh,
Yeah?
to level up. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be funny.
So
honestly.
on the morrow,
yeah, that's a good point.
On the morrow of
So it's the evening at the moment that you
Varo.
haven't had your rest yet. Yeah?
On the morrow, Varo, we will be able to speak with Did.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
yes. Yeah, I'm just looking at Orax and just wondering, how the hell he put the glasses on. They've got no arms.
They perch. They're pince-nez.
Pince-nez.
Pince-nez, yeah.
Pinch nose.
That's a very good title for tonight's episode, isn't it?
Pince-nez.
Pince-nez, chaps.
Yeah.
Have you never come across pince-nez?
No. No, I've got extra large fat face glasses.
Yes.
Yes, maybe I should be looking at pince-nez.
That's,
might
that's
help.
indeed what Orax is wearing. He is wearing a pair of pince-nez. And for some reason, when I turned him into a token, he got all this weird fringing that wasn't there when I should have resized him first, I think.
It just goes
ended up
to
looking a
show
bit
that
JPEG-y,
hippopotami or giths have very short hair. Coarse.
By the way, there's
very short, coarse hair.
In Spelljammer manual, I got to tell you guys this. There is this conversation amongst GIF as to whether the name of their species is said GIF or GIF.
Oh,
And it's a 50-50 split between the two.
very good.
Which I thought was a lovely little nod to yes, that particular conundrum that we find.
Yes.
GIF, by the way. I mean the file, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's not a graphics interchange, is it? It doesn't matter anyway, we've replaced it all with WebP. Right, moving
Exactly.
on. Okay, so.
I think most things are going to have to wait until tomorrow morning anyway.
You can do that tonight if you want to.
Ooh.
You do the speak with Dead first, but you will have to wait until the morning to really to investigate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a good plan.
Well, yes, I mean, all of the other stuff, asking around, finding out about the fashion world, we're going to have to go to some shops, probably speak to some tailors.
Well, Brian said that he would find somebody.
Oh, see, he would, yeah, sorry,
look
you're
at the stuff. Yeah, so he said he would find somebody. So that's fine. So you will be able to do that in the morning. You'll meet up with Orax in the morning, and he will pull somebody in who he trusts.
Yeah.
So, but you can do the speak with Dead tonight if you want to.
So I will do the spell, but I'm going to say that other people will have to ask the questions. You've got 5 questions, but we're only going to ask 4, so we can leave the guy. Hello, someone want to ask me a question?
Well, I think my question would have to be, Varo, have you cast the spell yet?
Yeah.
And then swiftly followed up by, how do you know it's working?
Yep. Yeah.
I think we should
maybe not involve me in this
So we'll start with, are you dead? Then, are you sure you're dead? I don't believe you.
Can you prove that you're dead?
Okay,
Yeah.
so Varo, I think this is really important. You might want to, before you cast the spell, you might want to consult, because it's only you who can ask the question.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, in that case, so we need to come up with a list of questions that we're going to ask.
Okay.
Question 1.
Yeah.
Does he know the person that killed him?
no. Don't phrase it that way. Say who killed you. Because if you say, do you know, the answer is yes.
Yeah. So we also want to know who put the helmet on him.
Mm.
or
Which planet
know.
did he come from? Which ship did
Yeah,
he
And the
arrive
where,
in?
so
answer to who
something
put
like
the
where are
helmet
you
on him will
from?
be, I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
there is that. You're right.
which ship did you come to Praxis on? Or which ship did you last travel on? Because if
if
you've been
I
to
Maybe we should
Praxis
be
multiple
asking-
times,
Maybe we should be asking if he willingly put the helmet on. Or was it forced on him?
absolutely fantastic questions. I have kind of two, but I don't know how to link them into one.
One question.
So what I was thinking just a few minutes ago was what is the name of the person who killed you? And then the follow-up would be, give me a description of that person. With that description, JL may be able to do a quick sketch, so we have something down on paper that we can basically go, it looks like Wally. We're not going to find him in the crowd.
Can I suggest that everybody, while they're speculating and talking about things, it's a great idea, by the way, but can I just suggest everybody reads the Speak with Dead spell? Just so you're familiar with what you can and can't do.
It's
limited,
absolutely.
isn't it? The responses are limited.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if they don't fully understand, they won't answer, is the basic gist.
Brief, cryptic, or repetitive. Don't have to tell the truth if we're treated as an enemy. Yeah.
So can somebody charm it whilst the spell Speak with Dead is working?
No, I don't believe so.
No, because I think it's only to charm someone, they've got to be alive, haven't they?
No, because it's not actually the soul that returns to the body.
Yeah.
It's just a basic spark of life that gives you answers. It is not a soul, so it can't learn new things. It can't be taught stuff. Yeah. So the key point is that what they've got is this whole idea of this delineation between you're not speaking with the soul of the dead person.
Yeah,
wherever
that's
that
passed on, gone to wherever. Yeah.
So you're speaking to the remaining kind of a remaining basic spark.
It's like the residual memory. Yeah.
That's right. You're effectively communing with the residual memory of the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do we shorten the questions so that, because Christine's came out with some fantastic ones as well, but how do we shorten them so that we remove the amount of leeway? So either it tells us the truth or it lies, and we have to take things on face value. The description one, I think that's going to be maybe a little bit too far-fetched for the spell. It would be nice if it could work, but if we could shorten that so that we can get something.
A different mental framework for what we're doing. I suggest that we have a quick brainstorm of what we want to know and sort of jot that down, and then try and frame the questions to answer those things that what we're trying to.
That's a good idea. I like that
Would
idea.
it be useful to know how long ago he was killed? So in other words, to know whether or not that person's possibly still on the planet or they made their getaway.
Let's step back one step bigger than that.
Yeah. Why do we want to know the answers?
Yeah. Why do we want to know who killed him? So what is it we're really trying to find out? This this thing tried to kill one of us, correct?
No, he was trying to
No.
kill the Tabaxi.
Kill the Tabaxi.
Well, he hurt the Tabaxi.
Yep.
We don't know whether the Tabaxi was targeted or whether he was just an innocent bystander.
There was, yeah. I mean, obviously the Tabaxi had this map, so
Yes.
whether that was the reason, we don't know. It was the fact that I healed the Tabaxi that,
Where's
in gratitude, he gave us the map. So
that's correct.
where is what would I need to roll to remember something? So, yeah. What would I need to roll? Would it be like an investigation to try and remember?
What the memory was. It would depend on what the memory was and what the thing is that you're trying to remember. So if you're trying to do some kind of research, that's one thing. But actually, there's another thing, which is if it's something that you would reasonably know, you would reasonably know it. So I will tell you it.
Well, yeah, I get that, but what I'm thinking is that this dude with the hat on, he may have been in plain sight from the first moment that Lovelaw and I walked into that godforsaken place and set eyes on the lovely Tabaxi old man. We just didn't clock him because he's very good at blending into his surroundings.
So your question, sorry, I interrupted.
Basically, can I remember ever seeing him at any of my interactions with the old Tabaxi?
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to remember what the encounter was, and did we fight him off? I seem to remember he just stormed off. I can't remember what the encounter was.
You did not see him.
Right.
So when the hue and cry went up about the stabbing, you didn't see him.
Okay.
You went down the alleyway, you found the Tabaxi mortally wounded, and you went, and healed him.
Gotcha.
And therefore the Tabaxi was healed. Yeah? And he would have otherwise died.
Mm-hmm. Right, so we didn't see him, he didn't see us.
No.
Gotcha.
Well, he might have seen you, but you didn't see him. I mean, he would have stood out, right? Because this
he's got a fucking helmet on.
Kind of iron square helmet is just so distinctive, right? It's literally like a kind of almost like a square bucket with a hole that's been dropped on his head. I mean, it's just so outlandish, you would tend to notice it. And you think other people would have noticed as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're sure other people will have noticed this guy if he was wandering about.
Yeah.
Because who wears a helmet like that? But it was some weeks ago now.
Yeah. So maybe one of the things we want to find out is why he was, or what he was trying to obtain from the old Tabaxi. Do we know that? I'm trying to remember from the.
So, I think
because obviously he got into an argument with him.
The one step higher than that might be what was your mission on Craxus?
Yeah.
And that would cover multiple things that it could be if he wasn't actually after the Tabaxi. If he was after the Tabaxi, if there's a bigger picture thing that he was doing. And then the next we could go with who gave you your mission. Then get into the who killed you.
Mm-hmm.
And that would give us at least 2 extra questions to try and drill down on stuff that was not as thoughts.
Yeah. Well, we've got 10 minutes. Spell lasts, so.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to, force a clock on you too badly. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's not going to be, unless you're going to sit there and have some very, very long and complicated set of questions or something. Hopefully, Pete, you're making the notes for Varo to be able to.
I am.
Martin, you've been very quiet.
I know Martin usually throws in.
No. I was just letting letting the discussion going on.
Okay.
I think the location is interesting because that will give us, if they think they've come from off-world, if we can find out where they came from, that might be interesting. Because that might lead us to more information about the waypoints and things. One thing that I was trying to remember is way back a while ago. We went down an alleyway and a cloaked figure disappeared. I can't remember what that.
No. That was just me.
Oh, that was just okay.
yeah. That wasn't an actual thing that happened.
Yeah. I was just trying to understand where all the threads we've got to tie together are or not. So that's fine. Location I think would be the one that she's interested in, and like you said, if she can get we know what the guy looks like because he's in front of us, but if you've got any description of what the person, people that put the helmet on, then that's good. But like I say, if it's limited, we don't know what we can do. But I think location is what she's interested in mostly.
So I think what we need to do is we need to we need to be in a quiet room so that we can ask him a question and then go off in a huddle in the corner, discuss amongst ourselves, and then come back for another question.
Yeah. We're not going to have D&D movie comedy here unless you literally stand there. And, I'm assuming that you're smart enough to sort of, cast the spell, ask the question, yada yada. Okay.
As the director of the spell, there's probably some intent there as well, where I have to know that it's a question. I have to basically kind of say, force the answer out or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a difference between writing a comedy sequence in a film and playing a game where it's just, thanks, mate. You just screwed me over for 3 of my questions. It's like,
someone comes and knocks on the door and opens it and says, "Would you like your bed turned down?"
Yeah,
exactly.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Room service?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is it? It's a white hole.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a few questions here.
Right.
We've got what was your mission on Craxis?
Let's get to Orax and speak to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you were given a number. A lot of the places in Craxis just have a number. There's a number on the door or a little number plate. But people's addresses are just a number. And then folks know where different numbers are around the town. And you were given a number, and you go down this side alley off one of the main streets, off the main street. You go down this side alley, and you find this small door. There's a series of buildings, and they are residential. I mean, it's a residential alleyway. They're little residential streets. You get to this door, and you think this is a bit odd. You knock, and the door opens, and it's Orax, and he I was not expecting you at this hour. Come in. He brings you in. You're in this. I mean, it's a lounge. The furniture is stout, but you would think these small houses here, this would be the regular place. And think, okay, is this Zorax's house? It looks like he's, sitting in his lounge. It looks like his lounge. And he takes you through a door, and where you expected perhaps a corridor or something else, there is a bedroom. I think that's a bit strange. There's a side door off, which you think is probably a garderobe. There's a large wardrobe. And he takes you to the corner of the bedroom, and he clicks a piece of wall and swings open a secret door. Come on through. And he takes you through, and you're in this big stone corridor. And he clicks the door shut behind you. Hold on a moment. He unlatches the door and goes back through. And then he comes back, and he's holding a mug of, it looks like tea. And he closes the door. This way. He walks down the corridor, and you go round, and you're in this big room that you think is, for want of a better way of putting it, it's like a mortuary. There's a series of niches on the wall which you think could be where store bodies. And there's a table in the middle of the room, and you can see that the halfling's body is on the table, has been coloured. You also are rather pleased to find that there's obviously a number of candles around the room, and one of them just draws your eye. Particularly you, Varo. You just sort of look at it, and you're something about this candle, and you just get this impression from it that it's got some magical property, because the air in the room smells very just kind of gently and sweetly of herbs, rather than the stink that the body would be. And you think this thing is just keeping it on the right side of fresh, and is magically holding down the what would be a very unpleasant odour otherwise. You can speak freely in here. I don't think the halfling is going to converse. And he sort of arches an eyebrow and a slight grin. His coat, slides it off and hangs it on a hook by the door. And then he walks over, and there are some benches and things around, and he sits on this tall stool, which is perfect for him. There's another one actually, Lovelaw, and you park. It's not too close to him, but it's close enough. Much taller than all the others, because for everyone else they would have to sit perching up on it, but for you it's like him, it's just sitting straight on it. And they're big and stout. Everything is hefty. What do you have to share?
Well, we have some questions for our dead friend here.
What magic do you wish to employ?
Well, we wish to speak with the remaining spark within him. Nothing untoward in the sense of, reanimating or anything like that.
Varo.
The spell Speak with Dead.
Then you may.
Okay, well, Varo pulls out an incense burner from his backpack and places it at the head of the table.
He comes over and he flicks the sheet back so that the sheet is, and it's it's just It's just unpleasant. It is.
Mhm.
It is a very unpleasant, decayed corpse.
Mm.
But it's intact enough that you think the spell will work.
Oh, before we start, is there anything in particular that you would like to know? We only have 5 questions.
Indeed.
And as I'm sure you're aware, the answers may be less than clear. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That
Right.
could be very useful information.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Right. Well, in that case, let me go ahead with the spell. Right. Now, you would think that, for something that seems to be quite potent magic, that it would take longer to cast than it does. But with a couple of waves of the hand and the lighting of the incense, it takes an action, literally, to cast this spell.
Yeah, literally just. Yes.
I don't know.
You see
it
this.
seems longer than 10 seconds.
I've never cast it before. What happens?
You see the corpse move, and it's as if it's alive. It sits up, and its head moves around as if you see motion in the body. It's quite disconcerting.
We've seen undead before, but yeah. Okay, so Varo is going. Varo is going to move round in front so that the corpse can see him, and he's going to ask the first question. Who are you?
I am Beldo Patchway.
Second question. What was your mission on Akraxis?
I was brought here to be the hand of an assassin, to kill a Tabaxi.
Okay, sidebar, Your Honour.
Yep.
Right, so we're going to go off to a huddle in the corner.
Yep.
Right, so we have 3 more questions. Do we want to know the identity of the assassin?
Well, he's the assassin.
No, he says, I was brought here to be the hand of an assassin to kill a Tabaxi. So the assassin is someone else. He was a tool.
Okay. Yeah, I think we would want to know who the assassin was.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go back over.
He may not know.
Oh, hang on.
Well,
Whilst we've got the sidebar, Pete, John, when we heard the cry go up, okay.
You were not there. You were elsewhere.
When Varo heard the cry go up, can he remember if the old Tabaxi was the only Tabaxi in the area? Or were there others?
The old Tabaxi was the only Tabaxi, did you say?
Yes. As I understand it from what Varo had said, we had to go around a corner to find the old Tabaxi. So were there other
Tabaxi
Tabaxis
was in a bar
prior
in an inn,
to prior to that alley, roadway, junction, whatever.
Right. So, first of all, that would need a can I remember roll. And by the way, I haven't forgotten that you want to do the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't forgotten you. That you'll obviously I thought we'd do this and then we'll come back to that.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. So that would be something similar for Varo.
Yeah, because Varo will need to make a roll. It's quite a hard thing. It's like, can I remember particularly? It's not like I ran into anybody, whatever. So that's the first thing. Pete, you just said something which I want to correct, just because I think there's two things that are getting confused.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
No, it's okay. I didn't want it to get confused because it comes over then as you then might draw the wrong conclusions, and I don't want you to do that. I don't want to be misleading. When you were out walking, you heard the hue and cry. In fact, actually, it wasn't. You were not the only one, were you?
It was me and someone else, but I can't remember who was with me.
I think. Possibly JL as well. I can't remember, but definitely Megan was with you. And you ran down the alleyway because people were yelling, and you found the Tabaxi dying in the alleyway.
Oh, it was an alley. Okay, yeah.
So you were in an alley, yeah, and actually it's the alley that leads to his home. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So it's the alley where his home is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so do I make a roll then to see if I can answer?
See if you can answer the question that you're being asked.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. This is going to be quite tough to remember. So you're really scratching your head. So we're going to get you to make an intelligence check. So straight up intelligence check.
Yep.
And the DC is going to be
nah.
More than that.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
You're racking your brains, but you just can't remember.
Yeah.
You can't remember positively or negatively. You just can't recall.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I think the problem is that you think that you were so focused on what was going on that you didn't really look at the people who were around you. You would have noticed the halfling, you're pretty sure. So you're fairly sure you didn't see the halfling, but you don't remember otherwise.
John? Oh,
yes.
Shit. Don't worry. I can't use it, so I'm not going to. That would be cheating.
Okay.
I was going to say I'm going to use my level 7 ability, which is a reaction. I don't think it's going to help, but
Your reaction for
it's a reaction. Basically, you add +4 to the roll. It would only give a 12, but I can't because I haven't actually learned that yet. And I know that you're doing the Speak with Dead more as a thing rather than Pete's already actually learned it, etc., etc. So I know that we're a bit disjointed on time.
And get your levels up.
I forgot that we're doing this.
The thing is, you got to be careful about these kind of. No, because he's learned Speak with Dead, which he's got a level 7, right?
Yeah.
So okay, cool.
Okay.
But +4 wouldn't have mattered anyway.
I didn't think it would. So what I'll do is, because you've answered it as no, it wouldn't have mattered, I'm going to mark it off as being used. Okay.
Mark it up as being used. It's fine.
Yeah.
Use it another time. It's all right.
I want to be fair.
Okay, so what's the next question then, guys?
Right, so next question I'm going to ask is, I'm going to go over and I'm going to ask, who is the assassin who commanded you to kill the Tabaxi?
A stinking elf. Zem Kalchar.
Zen Kalchar.
There you go. Let's do that.
Okay. Right. Back to the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 questions down.
Decent chunks of information.
Yeah, no, very good. What do we want now? The ship? The name of the ship?
Is it worth checking to see if any of us recognize that name before we?
None of you know that name.
None of us know that name. Okay.
Oh.
What about Orax?
Sorry?
What about Orax? Does he know the name?
No, he doesn't.
Hmm.
But it's possible that somebody does know that name.
Okay.
But I can't tell you who or why.
Oh, can we all make a knowledge check?
Why doesn't
Megan should?
Why doesn't everybody? Why doesn't everybody make a? Why doesn't everybody make an investigation check? Everybody can do that roll.
I'm gonna do.
And then you all get to roll, but you don't know who it is who it's relevant for.
Yep.
And only one of these rolls is relevant, but I'm not, you know.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Well, I hope, Varo, that it wasn't ours.
No, Varo's is 23. That's all right.
There's some good rolls there.
There's some bloody decent rolls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But if we don't get it after that, it was probably Lovelaw or JL.
I think it's Megan.
So no one recognises the name.
Megan lets out a slight intake of breath.
Oh.
I have heard that name on March. I'm not sure where from. I will need to think on it some, but the name rings a bell.
Right. Okay. So, next question then. What are we thinking? The ship name? I mean, we could ask about the helmet, but there's a good chance that it was actually the elf who stuck it on his head in the first place. So, and then there's also the question of who killed you, who killed him.
Yeah, there's that we haven't figured out.
Might be the one to go for.
Yeah. Because it might not have been Sem Kalchar that killed him. Might have been someone else involved.
You might want to phrase it as such. Who do you think killed you? Because that way he doesn't just say...
Yeah. That way, if he knows, he knows. If he doesn't know, we get...
Might, at least a guess. If the spell works that way, which I'm not sure if it does.
I think it's a good way of phrasing it. Good open question. Okay, question number 4. Who do you think killed you?
Calchar's thugs held me in the water.
Okay, so they may still be around then.
I don't know.
That wasn't a question.
Oh. Okay.
That was a statement.
No, it was a question, but I'm.
No,
I can.
I'd never write that without.
Oh.
Right. So I think okay. Back to the corner. No.
To the corner.
Etc.
Back to the corner.
Mm-hmm.
I think the name of the ship. Because if they're still here, it's probably their base of operations.
Or why was Tabaxi to be killed?
Yeah.
Because the ship may have just been a random charter. We know the location. We've got a tie to March, so maybe what's the reason for the?
Well, the thing is, he said that it was Calchar's thugs who killed him, which suggests that Calchar is here. He wasn't. I don't think he was sent here. I think he probably came here with Zem Calchar.
Yeah. Well, so what was the reason for the Tabaxi to be killed, I guess, was the main question.
But is that a question we could, ask Zem Calchar when we find him?
Could be.
Can we have a timeout?
Yep.
Because I need a bit of a hand from Pete.
Okay, hang on.
Okay, we can take a quick break and we'll be back in a few minutes. So I believe you have a fifth question to ask then, if you'd like to.
Okay, so before Varo asks that question, Megan leans forward and pulls Varo's arm, pulls him back away. I have been thinking, and that name, I know the name. He's a wizard who did some business with the oracles on March. I believe we can find out some of our answers that we might need from the oracles. They will probably know where he operates from because they did business with him before they decided that he was a little bit shady and dropped him.
Very useful. Okay.
So is the gang's name A4? Or is it A4 Karcher's Thugs?
Answer number 4. Calchar's Thugs. So the A1, A2, A3, A4 are the answers.
Are all major roads.
I thought that I was wondering if that was the name of the gang, the A4 gang. I thought it's a bit odd that they're naming themselves after a paper size.
Well, you got two gangs on two different planets. One's portrait, and the other one's landscape.
I know. No, one of them's C5, which is the A4 gang can be folded over and put into the C5 gang as necessary.
I thought that was a good, very good infiltration.
Okay, so we've got one more question. Do we leave him hanging? or do we? What do we want to know? I still think
some more information you need to know. Surely.
Well, I know, but the question is, what what do we want to know? Do we want to know why he wanted the Tabaxi killed? I mean, he's not, this Zem Kalchar is not going to have told Beldo Patchway why. So we're relying on the fact that it's overheard.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that he's not, from what I've read or listened to, I can't be 100% certain that the old Tabaxi was the target. He's just a Tabaxi. He was there, and it was an attack of opportunity, so to speak. You know, so I think
one thing we haven't asked him is whether he was a willing hand of the assassin, or was he forced into the helmet? So, is this Zem Kalchar? Is he picking on willing assistants, or is he forcing people to do his bidding?
That could be a yes.
That's a good question, but
definitely a yes.
I suppose the question is why do we want to know that? I mean,
sorry,
it's
just
still
hold on a second, Anthony. Sorry, Anthony.
I just said that would turn into a yes or no question.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Limited information.
That's why I'm putting it here for us to meld it around to a question that isn't. Yes,
because if he's doing that to people against their will, I mean, yeah, then my character would be like, yeah, that doesn't sit well with her. She'd be wanting to get involved and stop that.
My assumption has been that this was against his will. Given, I mean, when we asked him who the assassin was, he said a stinking elf, Zem Kalchar, which doesn't sound
why would you need
like. Yeah.
How would you need a helmet to control them if they were willing?
Exactly. Yeah.
Was the helmet a controlling device?
Or maybe Zem Kalchar was actually a stinking elf. Maybe he was really smelly.
We know it was enchantment magic. And we know it was stuck to his head, which suggests a cursed item.
Does he have more of these helmets?
Good question. I would guess he doesn't value it highly simply because he left it behind. They left it behind.
Yes.
I mean, even though it didn't come off easily from the head, they could have just chopped the head off.
Yeah,
or
they could have
killed him. Taken the Beldo somewhere else to kill him. Back on the ship or something like that. I mean, it suggests he didn't value it very highly.
John.
Or maybe his thugs didn't realise it was valuable.
Or maybe it's just too distinctive. It's a kind of a standout thing.
Play a question. So I don't meta game a bit. We took on a job for Wiztard, and then we forgot all about the job.
Correct.
Can we remember taking the wizard out of the port?
Nope. What you remember is the wizard came on board the ship and he said, I'm going to pay you a fee for taking me somewhere else on the planet. And you said, super, that sounds great. And the next thing you remember is you were landing, and then you all looked at one another and went,
where's the wizard?
We don't remember what just happened.
Yeah. Okay, that's absolutely brilliant wizard? Because then I'm not metagaming. Was the wizard smelly, and was he an elf?
Do you remember the name of the wizard, and do you remember the things about him? If you just hold on a moment. I
just thought about it, and I might be barking up the wrong tree, and I'm then delaying everything. So I do apologise, but
no, that's a really important question.
I can't see it on my list. That's why I was a little bit.
Yes. So he was an elf.
Was he smelly?
Mm-hmm.
No, he certainly was not. And
Okay.
he introduced himself as Laos Altazine.
You spell that? I'm going to see if I can get Zem Kalchar out of those letters.
Hint, not the same person. There you go. There's Laos Altazine.
Right, okay.
Actually, my apologies. It's 48 hours, not 24.
Okay. So that wouldn't really help us with question 5.
Yeah, I mean, I would say what we want is something that will help us move on to the next step. So not something that's going to give us all the answers, but something that, you know, gives us somewhere to go next.
I mean, purely just for my own greed and curiosity, I would really like to know why he decided to go for the old Tabaxi.
I would love to know as well, but there's a good chance that
I would like
we're going to get the answer of I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it worth asking for if there's a meeting place that they used here on Praxis or on March?
What about how do
Someone
you
had an epiphany?
Sorry, hang on. How do you notify the stinking elf that the mission succeeded? Could that lead us into an answer of, well, you stand under a lamppost and you flag your arse open 3 times, or, well, you go, I was told to drop off a note at such and such. So in which case that such and such could give us another point to then scope out. Maybe? What do you think?
I mean, this is our last question. We don't get any follow-ups to this one.
So it's got to be right. And I
don't think
he's
just
told
say,
us any
I
lies
go back
yet.
to the shit. No, he's I mean, the answers have been very forthcoming.
Yeah.
I think quite possibly simply because he's probably quite resentful about being, you know, what's been done to him.
Yeah. So the helmet's a good question with
Reference
reference to the helmet, but
it could all be lies. Yeah.
Yeah. It isn't, but that's okay. Just so you know, I'm not being cruel or anything. I'm trying to be as reasonable as possible and give you the opportunities.
Yeah, no, it's great answers.
Rather than, you know, stiff you. I'm not trying to be difficult.
What are you thinking, buddy?
I'm trying to think of something that's more open-ended, like how would you get revenge on, and then say the name of the.
Just remember, you can't ask forward statements. You can only ask about historical things.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't ask for sort of reasoning.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's informational things that you're asking
Martin?
for, in effect.
Come on, you think outside the box.
Has he got a little cutout that he's put in front of the camera?
No, because I can see his cogs whirring.
Okay.
He just seemed to be
thinking.
Yeah.
Are you there, Martin?
Yeah, he's moved.
He's getting primed to give us some
Wisdom.
insight and words of prophetic. That's the wrong word, isn't it? Profound wisdom. Aren't you, Martin? Morn.
Hello.
Wave if you can hear us.
Okay.
Okay. Can you speak? Can you speak?
Sorry, I lost all audio. I lost all audio there.
Ah,
He couldn't hear us and we couldn't hear him.
yeah.
Nice.
Have you got anything at all?
Yeah, I think a link back to the smelly elf would be good. How could we avenge this
Well,
this death? Maybe something. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult.
yeah. I think we've agreed that probably is going to fall outside the bounds of what
don't.
the spell can do.
I mean, we've come out with 4 fantastic questions and we're stuck on that. Do we actually have to ask a 5th? I mean, I know it would be a waste if we didn't.
Yes. Otherwise the spell expires.
Yeah.
Just
Location.
it doesn't.
Okay.
Maybe
Communication
where
method.
could we find that assassin?
Yeah.
Well, we're looking to get that information from the oracles. Mark. Yeah, because the oracles dealt with him, so they would hopefully know where to contact him.
Okay.
And I think that information from them would be probably slightly more reliable than.
Yeah. Okay, so just think if there's a location here before we head to March, if we've got like a drop-off point or something here that we could, or even Salem could keep an eye on, or somebody could keep an eye on.
What about something like, where was your base on Craxis?
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, was not his base. Where was the elf's base on Craxis?
Well, same thing, really, I think.
Don't know.
Yeah, no.
You might not think of it that way.
I agree with Christine. Ask it in a way of, where
Okay.
is Kalchar's base on Craxis?
Okay.
On Craxis.
All right. Let's go with that.
That's very specific.
Okay, I'm going to go over. Question number 5. Where is Kalchar's base on Craxis?
I'm just writing it down for my own edification so I don't forget. So the answer you get is the halfling. I mean, the halfling has basically been laid there, but keeps kind of sort of turns his head. It turns his head and looks at you as you ask the question. I do not know. And then the body slumps.
Okay.
I poke the body. Wake up! I want question number 6.
Come on, get some more.
Right.
There's Orax.
I mean, I feel
Some leads.
Question 5 was a bit of a but
It's Kalchar. I have no knowledge of him. I would have enjoyed having a physical description. Masked one, perhaps. You said you have contacts who will know more about this Kalchar character?
Indeed. I'm hoping that we may get more reliable information and more detailed information from the oracles of March. They had dealings with this Kalchar. They traded with him, but then they became suspicious of him. They felt he was a bit shady, so they dropped those connections. But hopefully the information they will be able to give us will lead us to someone who can contact him or who can put us in touch with him and where his base of operations is.
I feel that perhaps you should not invite contact directly without him. You should be circumspect. You look as if stealth is part of your makeup. Perhaps he observed him from afar. My own network is only really here on Craxis. I serve at her pleasure. So I'll see what I can find out. March,
It's probably our next stop.
Do we think this poor unfortunate came from there? And he takes the sheet and just flicks it back across and covers the body.
We have a name, and if we can identify his clothes, perhaps a planet he came from. If we're lucky, possibly even a city. But it will take some investigation work to find him. Megan, do you recall whether or not Zemkal Char was local to March, or did he arrive on a Spelljammer?
You don't recall. It was a name that you heard mentioned, Megan. And you remember, you recall that there was a topic of conversation that came up because the oracles had decided to stop doing business with him because of he appears to be involved in some things that were less than savory, and the oracles really didn't like it. But this was some time ago. This was some years ago. You don't really remember the details. You just remember the name, and you remember the circumstances.
Yeah, and I'm guessing I would never have come into contact with him as such. It's the oracles would have.
It would make sense that he was local. As in from somewhere on March.
So, is our next stop March, or do we do more investigation here? Do we follow up tomorrow morning with the sweep of the docks to see if anyone remembers a halfling with a helmet?
I think so. Yeah. And I think that Orax is going to follow up with the clothes.
Yes. I'll see what I can do.
What rough time of, I don't know if you call it day on here or not, it is. It was evening-ish, wasn't it?
Yes.
So
it's still the evening. I mean, you've only been with Orax for less than half an hour.
That's true.
It was only a 10-minute. You only had 10 minutes to ask the questions. So it's less than half an hour, and so you're champing at the bit to get out for the night and enjoy yourself, because it's what you do.
Okay. Time to go back to the ship and wait till morning, yeah?
Yep. Unless you can spare Shaggy and I for a little while.
Sure.
What do you want to do?
I will go blow some money and crawl back to the ship at the first light, ready to go.
Okay. So, you head off. And you head back to the hotel, which had the bar and the gambling hall that you visited successfully before. And Shaggy's, you can tell that Shaggy's on his uppers. You can tell that he's concerned about you, because you've got that look in your eye. And the first thing you do when you arrive is you get up to the bar and you order a bottle of whiskey. And you're pouring it, and you've got a large glass, and you're just pouring glasses and just getting through this bottle. And Shaggy's watching you. He orders a separate drink, and he's taking it a little more easily.
What's up, little man?
But you are knocking it back, and you're looking around. And you sit down at a gaming table, and you play some hands of cards. And then one of the waiting staff comes over and taps you on the shoulder.
Okay.
Sir, excuse me?
Yes?
A lady has invited you and your friend to join her for a drink. She's in one of our private rooms. Would you like me to show you the way?
I look over at Shaggy, see what he's thinking. I shrug my shoulders.
Stone-faced.
Stand up.
Stone. Absolutely no expression.
Yeah.
You can't even tell whether you're looking at the front of my face or the rear of my face.
Yeah. However, inside you can inside you can see little fizzy bubbles inside his head.
All right, we'll follow.
I think sometimes, by the way, I think that on the odd occasion, it's worth remembering what plasmoids look like. We're just see if I can. I don't know whether I can put this in the VTT or not. I used to be able to. You can't do it anymore for some reason. I don't know why.
Looking over to see what they're thinking doesn't really work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least you can see the neurons firing whilst I'm thinking about something.
Okay, so it's only certain things. All right, just give me a second. So, I mean, there's an example. Just pop that in the VTT there.
God, he's a handsome fucker.
I do actually quite like some of these illustrations. I think they're quite they're quite smart actually. There's another one. So you can kind of see the see what they look like, but it's not as simple as just
Does Shaggy ever come up with three arms?
So does that mean he can dual
but now
wield
that I've
and
seen that, I fucking well will. Crossbow, rapier, and shield. No, you put it out on public display.
That's canon.
Okay. Well, that's no problem. No, that's absolutely fine. But just bear in mind that you will become a plasmoid warrior and not a and you'll no longer have your class because you'll be a monster in effect. And I mean, I'm not being rude or anything, but you probably don't want the same stats as this has got.
Now, I mean, I'm just impressed that the divine being from beyond has said that I'm a monster. He's recognised the piracy within the team.
Actually, the Plasmoid Warrior gets to make 3 attacks.
Oh, interesting.
Around with its pseudopod.
I think it's absolutely fantastic as a race.
It can either replace one with a spear or with a pistol. Yeah. Remember, player characters and monsters are different.
Yes.
Yes, that's monsters have sharp, pointy teeth.
As monsters that are a completely different thing to an actual human wizard player character.
Yeah.
Completely different things.
Yeah.
Much less of a problem. Put it this way: if I was putting player characters in front of you at reasonable levels to fight against you guys, it would be much harder.
Yeah. Another party.
Especially if they were all artificers.
Yeah.
Cheat class artificer, yes.
5 level 7 artificers. You guys would not have a good day.
No.
You really wouldn't.
Definitely not.
No.
In fact, you probably would run away. It's about the only thing you would. Yeah. So.
Okay, so anyway. Who's the lady? The lady is it who I think it is? Lovelaw's tete-a-tete from the last time we was in this inn.
Sorry, who are you asking? Are you asking me, or are you asking
yes. No, I'm asking you as we get closer. Is it the same warrioress?
So you're going, yeah?
Yeah, I mean he's walking on over there, so I'm just gonna yeah.
Yeah, his chair straight back. His cards go down on the table.
All right, let's find out.
Tell me out. And he stands up and he starts warring after this really kind of tiny. I mean, this waitress is really small in comparison to this. Off we go. Lovelaw. Are you following along? Yeah. Shaggy.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm Lovelaw's wingman.
All right.
Thank you.
You go down a corridor and into there's basically a set of double doors, and the waitress knocks at the door, and you hear this voice enter, and she opens the door, stands to one side with the door open, lets the two of you walk through, and then she closes the door behind you. It's a private reception room. So there are some comfortable chairs and a sofa. There's a bar along one side which looks well stocked. There's a lovely rug on the floor in the centre of the floor, and there's a table in the middle. And you can see as well along the bar there's some plates of food laid out. Very well appointed, beautiful in here. There's a beautiful chandelier, and there's phenomenal wallpaper, and everything is just really beautifully finished. It's just a very, very opulent room. And yes, I mean you were pretty sure you knew who it was going to be. And she smiles at you and comes over to you and reaches up and just sort of gives you a kiss and gives you a hug. And I don't believe we were introduced at the table, but I do apologise. I don't recall your name. She says to you, Shaggy. Please come, sit, have a drink. You're actually carrying a bottle and a glass at this point. You've got half a second. You're in the second bottle of whiskey. You're well into your cups at this point. Second bottle of whiskey.
Gotcha. Looking around the room, John. You mentioned the couches and the chairs, and I sort of picture them up against walls and things like that. I'd like to walk.
They're all in the center of the room, kind of arranged around this, effectively like a coffee table, a low table.
Got it.
On which you can put your drink.
So, I act as though I'm looking to inspect what's at the bar, but I want to walk over and just casually look behind the bar to make sure there's not crouched down people back there.
Yeah,
and then we'll head.
It's slightly a misnomer to say bar. It is like a bar, but it's pushed back against the wall, so it's more like a counter.
A counter. Okay, fine.
Racking at the back. Yeah, like a counter.
Got it.
And it's got racking at the back on which there is a variety of very nice bottles of both wine and spirits. There are some glasses, and there are. And as I say, there's some food and some other things as well. So there's a variety of food and drink laid out. It must be expensive to hire this room.
My lady, you've not caught me at my best. I nod at the bottle.
It looks like quality. Come, sit down. If you're drinking that, then is there something that troubles you?
No.
So, since we last saw each other, what have you been up to? Anything exciting?
We've been gallivanting about, doing a little exploring, a little this and that. You know how it goes.
Indeed. I had a rumor that you might have a new ship. Is that true?
I'm sure anyone down on the docks could point it out. Yep.
Must be fun. Nice to have new things.
Preferred the old one.
You did? What was so good about it?
My flags.
He does miss his flags. He does miss his flags.
Flags are important.
You do
Every
realize
ship
that
should have them.
There is an excellent vendor down at the dock, just off the docks, who will sell you a wide variety of flags, all of the flags that you would need for semaphore, and will also custom make them too.
I look at Lovelaw. Semaphore.
We'll talk about that.
Okay. My flags had pineapples on them.
We do tend to.
As I say, they will happily make you custom flags, large, small. Perhaps you can fly your pineapple again. I like pineapples.
I look over at Shaggy to see what he says, or what sounds come from him.
Yeah, she's asking you, Shaggy, about the pineapples.
Well, why not pineapples?
I thought that perhaps there was some association that was special to you.
No.
Something to do with your history, perhaps? Or simply the food that you like to eat?
No, just one day when Lovelaw was having a shower, he bent over to pick up the soap and they just looked like pineapples.
And this is why I keep him here.
Yes, I can see. I see. This is the humour we're going to be regaled with this evening. Anyway, have something to eat, something to drink.
Thank you.
Tell me, where did you come in from?
The door.
We'd have to talk with the navigator of the ship. I tend to serve strictly as the marine force for our small naval vessel.
You didn't know where you were? You strike me as being rather more. Okay, right, Lovelaw. You did me a favour. Can you please make a check?
Yes.
Okay. And the check you want to make is perception.
Passive?
No, an active perception roll, please. The DC is 15. Oh, look at that. So she addresses you as Lovelaw. And there's something in the back of your mind. You're drinking this whiskey and you're sitting and you're talking, but there's something in the back of your mind, and she's called you Lovelaw twice now.
Mm.
And there's something about that sticks in your head.
Don't think we exchanged
And you're trying to work
names.
out what it is. You can't, for the life of you, it's processing, and she's talking away, and she's Lovelaw, surely, you know, someone as well travelled as you will know the locations that you've been to and all this sort of stuff. And she's very persuasive. I mean, she's unquestionably persuasive. And you're about to tell her about what you've been doing, but there's a combination of that thing plus something else. She is unquestionably, she is, you know, she's turned on charm, and she's worming her way into your your very slightly alcohol befuddled brain.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want you to do is I want you to make an opposed check. Okay. And I want you to, because you are trying to, you realize that she's trying to get information out of you.
She's fishing.
You've tweaked that that's what's going on, and you need to resist her in doing that. Okay. So the question is, do you want to lie to her, or do you want to just clam up? Now, if you lie to her, that's going to be a deception.
Copy.
Right? Yeah. And if you want to just kind of bat the question away, that's going to be perception. And both of those, either roll, is going to be made at advantage. And the reason it's going to be made at advantage is because her using your name, you never told her your name before. She never told you her name, and you never told her hers. And so you've fathomed out that something is going on here, and she knows more than she's letting on. This is different to last time.
I think I'll faff off the question as I have been doing, and then try and go on the offensive with questions of my own.
So. Okay, so it's going to be perception then. I'm going to make a perception check. She's already made hers.
I did not do it.
Don't forget, you're making that advantage.
I'll do it one more time.
Nice.
There we go.
Okay. All right.
Is that an ability? That's not an ability check, is it? That's a skill check.
No.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
That's fine.
Thank you.
You haven't quite fathomed this out yet. You realise something's going on, but you're not quite sure what it is. And what happens is actually the two of you just sort of talk across. She's asking questions. You just sort of talk across one another for a few moments, and then you sort of dissemble and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you were talking. I spoke over you." And there's this sort of moment, and you look at each other, and you can see that she's trying to work out whether you're just drunk and rambling or what it is. So, how are you going to respond? What's your riposte going to be?
I'm thinking.
Right.
So. I pick up none of the cues, but I'm going to basically, when Lovelaw starts to speak, I just blurt out something with reference to felts, and the flag makers use any old thing. We want, good like quality flags, and and then I just start muttering about coming to a place, having fun at cards, watching Lovelaw drink it up and lose money, and then we get invited into a thing, and then and then I get insulted about my flags.
You start rambling.
Yes.
You start rambling over the top, and you'll try, and you think you're doing a really good job, and she just turns and she gives you the sweetest smile, and she says, "I understand. Just have a drink," and you kind of almost like you just sort of think, "Oh, I think I've made a bit of a cock of myself," and you just reach out and pick up your glass and sit there quietly for a minute.
Well, I drink his
She's
whiskey.
incredibly persuasive.
Yeah, I drink Lovellaw's whiskey.
Persuasive. Yeah, it almost sort of you're rambling and you're trying to interject because you know something's going on, but you can't quite work out what it is.
Yeah,
and you flap out all this stuff, she treats you really graciously, beautifully graciously, and you just think, oh, and you just withdraw it on yourself for a minute and sipping a drink and just letting her speak and letting him speak, because
I feel that I started off quite strong, but then I must have looked at Lovelaw and the image and the thought of him having pineapples between his legs and what have you, and I just turned gibberish, and my whole thing just went downhill straight from that point.
He turns and looks at you. He turns and looks at you and sort of and gives you this look, and you know that look, and that look is
that wet, squishy look.
Take a breath. Don't worry about it. We'll do this together, but just I've got it.
Now I know how Jay felt when we wouldn't let him buy a hat.
That steely look that he gives you is that look that you're used to. It's under control.
Yeah.
Just be ready to back me up, but it's under control. Don't worry. And okay, so Lovelaw, what are you going to say to her?
Okay, two things. One, is she dressed where there's a hidden dagger or something that I should be easily worried about, or that's something for the description? Go ahead.
Yeah, you don't think so. She's wearing another fantastic dress like she was before. I mean, it's possible that she's got concealed weapons.
Almost assuredly.
But you don't think so.
But she's not wearing armor.
You don't think she's here to try and kill you or anything. She just seems to be asking a lot of questions.
Shaggy, we've done this lady a disservice. And I say, number one, I do not know your name, and I must know it. I say with a smile. Number two,
persuasion.
we should show her our ship.
Okay, persuasion. All right. Ah. I am Lady Atavan. And then she sort of says it like, she's being friendly. And then she sort of stops. And and she looks at you and she twigs that you are not in your cups. You are not befuddled by drink. That you know exactly what's going on. And she looks at you and you look at her and you just sit there looking at each other, like, again, with this look of steel and this look of understanding, and just looking at each other.
Nice.
And her face is contorting, and you can see that she's trying to work out what the hell to do, because she's just,
my lady.
There's this tension come across her body.
No. You have definitely got to see our ship. And I stand, and if possible...
Hang on. Just before you stand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You've definitely got to see our ship, you say to her. And she locks eyes with you. And there is this bang, and the door flings open.
Okay.
And all of you are like, uh-oh, this is going to... You can see that she thinks, okay, violence is about to happen. You think violence is about to happen. And all three of you are like, literally, like, almost like starting to reach for weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And Salman walks in. And the the two of you are like, what? And you can see she's looking, and she walks in and she's carrying the helmet that the halfling had. And she walks over to the woman who introduced herself as Lady Atavan. Atavan, she says, and she bangs the helmet down on the table. Now, here's something interesting. Whenever you're in the presence of Salnam, you've always had this overwhelming feeling of harm. You don't know what it is. You get the feeling it's magical, but you don't know. But this, she's not radiating that now. She's radiating something else. It's a mixture between anger and don't mess with me, or things will go very, very badly. It makes you almost like, it roots you almost to the chair, because this wave of this feeling that she's giving off. She bangs this helmet down on the table. One of yours? And Asvan looks at her and, no. You're fond of iron things, aren't you? And she looks at Atavan. Well, just because it's made out of iron doesn't mean it's one of ours. No? Nothing to do with your masters, then? They're not my masters. No, they're not my masters. Are you sure? Flat-faced ones? Atavan is really, I mean, she's scared. You can tell she's terrified, in fact. And you can also tell that she's completely, like, she's been completely pushed back. She's been, you know, like, completely knocked off her axis. What she thought she was going to do, which, you know, you realise is she was going to get you in here, you know, semi-drunk, and she was going to pump you for information. They're not yours. They're not yours to be used as playthings, Salnam says. They're smart. I think you've probably realised that in the last few minutes. You haven't got what you expected, have you? Looking for information out of them. Something that they were doing, one of their missions.
My
were they doing it for me?
My shoulders buff up and my chest pops out. Somebody call me smart.
Far smarter than you realised. She points at you, Lovelaw.
I have stood,
Just
by
a
the
grunt.
way,
Just
so that
a
I
marine,
could.
huh?
I'm sorry.
She's looking at her.
I have stood because when this happened, I would have stood. But I do the little half bow, of course, when we see that it's Salman that walks in, and then I've just been standing there.
Okay. So
I've also stood
Not you,
because
then.
Lovelaw stood.
I'll take your word for it. She snatches the helmet up off the table. I've warned you before. You and your ilk need to be very careful when you're here. Trade freely, but operate carefully. Mind your step, Atavan. I have eyes everywhere, but you already know that. Gentlemen, I am sorry if I've ruined your evening.
Not at all.
But perhaps you need to be careful of the company that you keep.
I've changed my my head so it looks like I've got many eye sockets and what have you. And I just smile and bow and go, eyes everywhere.
She stands and she turns. And she just stalks out the room, swinging the door closing. It just goes clunk behind her.
This is when my big paw shoots out, and I take her, Lady Atavan, by the elbow, like you would walk with someone, and I start walking towards the door.
And so she pulls away. Enough of this charade. Go.
No, I'm gonna hold.
Okay, are you going to hold on to her?
Yep.
Okay.
I do believe that's a grapple.
Oh, she's gonna do for the punch. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your AC?
It is 16. Now we can assume
roll
maybe that I'm
two?
not wearing my leather.
So she turns and she basically goes to what she does is she goes to basically use an open fist, and she just goes to strike you in the chin, and she connects. But because you had her arm, and she swings round and she sort of goes like this little sort of slap aside your face, and you're like, really? And she okay.
Do
you want to grapple her?
Yep. We're gonna walk to the door.
You're holding on to her, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to make a grapple check.
Yep. How do I do that again? That's
that is, you are going to make an
unarmed
strength.
attack.
Athletics.
Nope, you're going to make a strength check.
Ugh. Ridiculous.
And you rolled a... Oh, okay. So,
Terrible.
so she twists underneath you unexpectedly, because the slap's like, what? And you just like, right, I'm going to keep hold of her. But she manages to twist and disconnect from you, and she's now backing up. Okay, what are you going to do?
Okay, I'm looking at, as she's doing this, I'm looking for other exits. Make sure she's not. If there's
Weapons.
other exits that she's attempting to use.
My apologies. No, there is. Well, there might be some secret doors that you've not seen, and there is a window opposite the doors. But other than that, there are no other doors in and out of here. The only way in and out is these double doors. And you're not seeing anybody. There's nobody sort of invisible stood in the corner who's now punching you in the face or anything like that. Enough, she says.
Okay,
She looks concerned, but she doesn't look frightened by you. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't look fearful. She's not like, oh,
Okay. Then I reach down to my boot and casually draw out a long dagger.
Actually draw out a
long dagger. Just
a dagger. Okay, so you reach down in your boot, you pull a dagger out. All right. If it was going to come to this, let's do it.
Let's dance, baby.
And she turns and she basically does this in the air, and you realize that she is
casting.
Probably a monk. She's probably monk trained.
Oh.
Yeah. From her demeanor and from the way that she's responded, the way that she tried to hit you, and the responses that she's had and the way she's moved, you realize that she's a martial arts expert, unquestionably.
All right.
Not ninja, Shaolin monk.
But she's doing this open hand.
Pardon?
She doesn't have a weapon in her hands.
She does not.
Her hands are weapons.
Doesn't need a weapon.
Yes.
She is a weapon.
But with that understanding,
her hands, her feet.
That understanding, I will definitely just sort of drop the dagger aside and I'll get ready to go as necessary.
You stuff the dagger in your belt then.
Yep.
Oh, you're going to put your dukes up, are you?
Oh yeah. I'm about to get my ass kicked.
Okay.
This is awesome.
She comes in like a whirlwind. I mean, she comes at you. And
watch this, Shaggy.
Literally like.
Yeah, hang on.
It's like she comes in at 100 mile an hour. She's tough, bloody tough, right?
Let me get the popcorn.
You can narrate this through, John. I'm fine with that. We don't actually have to have the fight.
She comes at you like I mean, literally, she spins and she comes at you, and you've got your things up, and there's there's one into the gut, and then there's another one. And then as you sort of go to protect yourself, she smacks another one at the head, and then she spins and she just basically just does a roundhouse kick in the side of your head, and you are like reeling. I mean, the thing is that you're watching this. I mean, Shaggy, you're like, huh? You're literally like, you got your hors d'oeuvre in one hand like that, and the glass in the other, and you're like, watching this, and she's like,
well, I've actually
anyway, she's kicking at you, and then she stops, then she backs off and stops. Come on, let's get serious about this. We're going to do damage to each other. I mean,
I raised my hands.
These blows, they are.
I
she's
bet.
hit you, but they're nothing. They're not significant. If she'd landed these blows, it would have hurt, right? But she didn't. And you were like, stone skin. Yeah.
Yeah. I raised my hands.
You're ready to stone skin. You're ready, and it's like, oh, okay.
I just said.
Neither of us is going to come out of this well.
I raised my hands.
Let's just calm this down.
That was almost as good as last time.
All right.
Lady, you have us
going?
at a disadvantage, as we know nothing about you. You are always welcome to come to our ship and chat with us. And with that, I start moving towards the door.
She looks puzzled at that.
And if you bring some flags...
You can see that she's genuinely...
Oh
God, not more flags. No.
Preferably with some pineapples, that would go very well with our captain standing. You know? And I give her a wink with one of my many eyes while stuffing a couple more hors d'oeuvres in my head.
Confused as you leave the room. She just looks really confused.
I think you got her on the front foot, Lovelaw, and I got her pushed back to the back foot. We make a fantastic team. Oh, by the way, you nearly dropped your whiskey. Here you go, mate. I did drink some.
You're a gentleman. I do think that we should get back to I do think we should cut short and get back to the ship. Not all as it seems.
Salnam, she was awesome, wasn't she?
Yes,
I've never felt like it. It nearly made my pseudopod pop up.
She called you both smart. Wow.
Okay, to the ship. We have
I
stories
think we need to go back to the ship because Shaggy's just on cloud nine.
Salnam's gone down in my estimation if she's calling these two smart.
That's fair
Christine.
Varo,
sorry, just have to say
it. So Varo and JL and Megan, you're sat at the table in the dining area with some nice wine, just having a glass of wine and having a chat. Lovely evening. You've just been, talking about the various things and about the various implications, some implications of things. And you hear this thump, thump, clonk, and the door opens, and these two come wandering in. You're not expecting them, and you both kind of look at Lovelaw, and you notice he's got a fat lip. Like, a fight?
You better
and he's
fight.
Got his dagger that he normally secretes in his boot is tucked in his belt. And he walks in and,
Yeah.
What have you two been doing?
He said that my flags were shit, so I belted him one. He'll never do that again. I tell you, he gets some drink down him and he just gets leery.
We crossed fists with a monk.
Ah. More fool you.
Yeah, she took the piss out of my flags. That's the truth, by the way,
that's easy
Megan.
to do.
She was pumping us for information.
She was pumping you for information? What about?
Yeah, I had to
wanted
watch.
to know where we'd been, what we were doing. And before anything could get too far, lo and behold, Salaman walks in, gives her a dressing down, throws down the metal helmet from the halfling and says, "Is this one of yours?" Stuff about it being steel.
Who is this woman? Where did you meet this woman? No, is she an acquaintance of yours?
Well, we've crossed paths before, last time we were here, but we weren't like on first name basis.
And you have her name now?
Yes, Lady Adavan.
Crossed paths. More like laid
have any
across
of us
the
ever
fucking
heard the name
street.
before? John, has any of us ever heard the name before? Lady Atavan?
No.
Means nothing to us.
Though your friend, the ruler
There are a
here,
lot of people in the world, right?
JL, might know a lot more that she didn't say in front of us.
Well, I think that the comment about the Atavan is fond of iron things and Atavan's masters makes me wonder if it's...
Yes, we mentioned that. You throw out the masters and the flat
not just that they were masters, but flat-faced ones at that.
Yeah.
And Shaggy kind of makes his head look flat on one side. Oh, he gets rid of the many eyes. And Salnam says that she's got eyes everywhere.
Well, as you would expect in her home base.
I only saw two above her lips.
Is the flat face thing something a term that we have heard before? Like, is in a general?
Is it a term for a particular race?
Yeah, a particular type of species. Okay.
Damn, love.
It doesn't really mean anything.
Now I know why Varo made JL captain. She's wise.
Perhaps
I forget about that.
Perhaps, JL, if you felt like approaching her again, concerned for the safety of your crew and what potential dangers are behind the curtain that we don't know about, specifically with this Lady Adavan and her faction, whatever it is. It appears they're not necessarily from here, but if you could do that, I think that would be helpful. Maybe that's a tomorrow thing while we search the docks for information about where the halfling came from.
Might be willing to share a bit more information on it and give us some, know who to watch out for and who not to watch out for.
But definitely we should all be careful as we're wandering around the docks. Ugh. I'm going to sleep.
The only thing you can think of, flat face, is the Githzerai, but hasn't really. They're incredibly rare, and
Okay.
What do we know of the Githzerai?
The Githzerai.
What do we know of them?
The monkey type people?
Almost nothing. They
no.
I mean, they are a species that you've heard of, but they're not really. There aren't really very many of them about. It's just that they kind of have flatter faces, but that's about the only thing that you don't really think that's. It's not like a
it's not a term that's normally thrown at them.
No, wouldn't be. You wouldn't really kind of think about it like that, really.
She likes iron things.
Maybe she likes the iron ship that chased us.
Well, there's a thought.
Maybe she works for the iron ship that chased us.
Layers upon layers.
Well,
it's like a fucking onion.
It's really not.
It makes you cry.
Oh, JL. She also
Okay,
took the
is
piss
there
out
anything
of
else-
your
right, so-
hat.
In the morning, what do you want to do? What do you want to do in the morning? Let's deal with that before you decide what you're going to do next, or we can wrap things up with this. So, Varo, you were going to go, and was it you that was going to go? Who's the best person or the best people to go and ask around at the docks?
Probably fair.
I can do it.
Well, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go and do it.
I think you've got to be surely one of the most charismatic.
Do you want me to lurk around in the background?
Yeah,
just in
exactly.
case?
That's what I'm going to do.
All right.
So
So Lovelaw just stands there looking
menacing in the background. Yeah.
There's a thing, isn't there, about this guy who played an orc rogue, and he's stealthy, but of course he's got no chance of being stealthy because he's an orc and he's wearing like armor and big hobnail boots and all the rest of it. So instead, he put tons and tons of points into intimidation. Yeah, so really high charisma and a massive intimidation. And when anybody he goes, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He goes, "Come see Bob." Bob is stealthy.
Before Lovelaw
That's what I'm
and
kind of imagining with Lovelaw.
Yeah.
I love
I'm very friendly.
but before Lovelaw and Varo go out to the docks and what have you, I would like to go to the flag person. We don't have to RP or anything. Just want to see what type of flag thing it is, and I'm going to take Monty with me. Okay, and as we walk through, everybody sees the noticeable change of Monty.
Okay. Right. Just one thing about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. But I already have a shopping request from last week that's currently pending. So we can do shopping in a bit. Let's do that. I was trying to get through, and I haven't forgotten. Martin.
Oh no, I'm not actually going shopping. I'm just having a look at the flags. So you can tell me what type of flags they've got and what have you. I'm not buying any. I just want to see how to make a proper flag. It was more important for me for Lovelaw, Megan, JL, and Varo to see that Monty has changed into what?
Yeah. So everyone sees the change in Monty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Varo. So what are you going to do?
Going to go and ask around at the port, basically.
It's going to wander about and ask some people.
Just going to ask. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to ask sort of the people who are around sort of all the time. So the dock workers, the stevedores, the doxies.
You're walking down. There's that
Male or
street that
female.
runs basically kind of along and curves around the port. So effectively, there's this street that is only one-sided. On one side is the port, and on the other side, the dock area, and then on the other side is buildings. Okay, so it's this long wide street. You're walking down there, and walking towards you comes this halfling who you recognise, and he's carrying this scroll. And he comes up and he goes, hey, oh, nice scarf. I don't suppose you... No.
No. However, you might be able to help me. I mean, you've been around here for a while.
You could say.
Yeah. I don't suppose you've seen a very strange sight. It was a man with this weird helmet on his head. It's almost cube-shaped helmet.
You take out the sketch
that
JL made,
Yeah.
You show him the sketch.
Yeah.
You know, that's odd. I'm sure I've seen. You say a man?
Yeah.
Halfling?
Still a man.
Yeah. It was a halfling. Wearing a helmet like this?
Yeah, it was.
Wait. Try Dog 4. I seem to remember it was a while ago. Strange sight. I thought it was some new fashion from somewhere. Maybe just walked straight past me. It was an evening, an afternoon, late in the day. Straight past. I think I might have tried to speak to him, but he just looked ahead and ignored me. That's why I remember it. Yeah, try Dog 4. And if you ever
thanks.
fancy helping me out.
Well, can't do much about the map, but here's something for your trouble. And I'll give him a gold piece.
Ooh.
Thank you. And he puts it in a purse that he's kind of got round over his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Very kind. And he strolls off.
Yep. Okay. Head over to.
So there's a series of
four.
Effectively there's a series of things that sort of poke out into space, right? There are 6. There are 6 dock points, effectively. Depending on the ship, some ships more at the side because they would otherwise be floating if they landed. So they stay effectively flying and they're sitting on the edge of the gravity plane. But most land on the ground. The ones that can land on the ground. And there's these series of strips that run out, which are each of the docks, and they're numbered 1 to 6. You previously have normally landed on 1 because that's at one end. So the right, as you're looking out into space with Praxis behind you, that's at the right-hand end, and that's where the small ships tend to land, and then bigger stuff further along.
Yep. So dock 4. Is there anything docked there at the moment?
There's quite a few ships. There's always ships. There's always trade. There's always stuff going on. Yeah.
Nothing that
there are some
actually
There are dock workers. So there are the porters who kind of pick stuff up and carry it backwards and forwards, putting it in warehouses, moving it around, moving it between ships, etc. Moving it onto the dock, moving it off the dock. There's a bunch of porters around. There's always people about, and you can stop someone and talk to them if you want to. Who do you stop? Do you stop the gruff-looking dwarf, or do you stop the 2 Gith who are having some kind of argument about which one's going to win the contest tonight?
I'm going to go with the gruff-looking dwarf.
The grumpy-looking dwarf. Okay. You walk over.
I'm going to do my best persuasion roll.
Okay.
That's all right. And I'm going to use some bardic inspiration as well.
Okay. Well, that was disappointing.
I thought it was inspirational. Very persuasive.
Sorry, D8, not D6, D8. Now, there we go, 5. So 17.
All right. So you walk over and you say,
A bit of an odd request. I don't know if you happen to have seen someone with this rather interesting helmet.
Who are you?
By any chance?
What? Who are you?
Oh, I'm just looking for a bit of information. Could be worth your while.
Oh. All right. And he looks, and you can see he was looking a bit grumpy, and you realise that there is probably his supervisor down the docks away has been. You realise now when you walked past was yelling at him from a distance, and that's why he's grumpy because he's been yelled at. Okay. This way. He walks around behind some crates.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Information.
Yeah. So,
What can I tell you?
yeah, so a little while back, I think probably late in the day, on this dock, this halfling arrived on a ship. Don't know if, I mean, quite memorable with that helmet. Don't know if you remember him.
Oh. I don't, but Belak said that there was a halfling in a crate banging on the crate. Someone had shipped a halfling in a crate. It's just cruel. Oh, when they opened the crate up, he was wearing this weird metal hat. And he just jumped out the crate and walked off. And he was gone.
Oh,
wow. That's not what I was expecting at all.
Shipped.
Do you happen to know which ship the crate came in on, do you?
No, that was the thing. I don't think anyone could work out which ship it had come from.
By
I mean, if you went to the office, they might be able to tell you all the ships that were in on that day, but kind of hard to tell. Mean though, really mean.
Yeah. Oh, being comfortable.
Yeah.
Depends how big the crate is.
Who locked someone in a crate? I hope he wasn't in there very long.
May have just been a quick way to sort of get them off the ship without anyone noticing, I suppose. Might not have been in there long.
So.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Sneaky then.
Just mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't to know which day this was on.
Oof. Some weeks ago.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that's been very helpful. Thank you. And
said you'd make it worth my while.
Yeah, I'm going to give him. Now, how much? What is appropriate? Gold piece.
Bent here.
If you give him a gold piece, it's going to be absolutely made up, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give him a gold piece.
So for him, that's going to be like,
yeah,
that's a really that's a chunky amount of money. That's a day's wages, basically.
Yeah, I'll give him a gold piece.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's. Oh, thanks. Come and find me if you need anything else. All right.
Yeah. Thanks.
And the money just sort of disappears.
Yeah.
And he kind of nips off around in these crates, and you can see, and then he's stacking crates and moving them around.
I'll head back to the ship. Yeah. I'm going to head back to the ship because that's kind of sounds a bit like a dead end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like it came in a crate. Well, we'll call it there for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And
very good.
I haven't forgotten about shopping, and I haven't, and I'm sure there may be some other things you want to do before you decide what you're going to do next. Because you got some things.
Jail would go and probably find see if she can get a word with Salnam and see if she can acquire the item she wants as well. Let's answer some questions. So she might try and combine the two.
Are you going
to while Varo's off at the docks, she might go and head to her.
Are you all right to leave that to next week?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Going if you're going to go and have a chat with Salnam.
Yeah.
And Christine, I have.
Just fine.
I've seen your.
They're just background. I'm hoping you might work on my answers for me for sort of
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, no problem at all.
Message me during the week.
I've seen what you've done, and I will.
Yeah, not a problem.
I will respond. I'll probably move them to Discord, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, folks. Easier. So, we'll leave it there for this week. Next week. Now, Anthony, you said that you were not sure.
You
weren't 100% sure, so.
Yeah, I'm still not exactly, because it'll be. I'm gonna have to let you know slightly closer. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Because next week I'm back up in Duncan.
We will assume that we are on.
Okay.
For next week, but if you can just
as soon as possible
tip us off closer to, yeah. Obviously, if you find out sooner that you can't, then let us know. But we're going to assume that we're going to do it unless you tell us otherwise. But obviously, if you can let us know by kind of, I don't know, where are you? What are you? Are you central or are you on?
Yeah, we are.
Mountain.
So no, we're central. I'll
You're central.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
hopefully
so
hopefully before this weekend.
Okay, cool.
So I'll try and get that sorted.
I understand. If you're busy, it's not a problem, but just
cool.
Be good to know if we can. So,
yep,
that'd be great.
Very good.
Okay. Hopefully that's lots of answers, but also
lots of questions.
Some interesting questions as well.
Very good.
Some interesting leads. I hope. Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks very much, folks. And
thank you.
Hopefully I will speak to you all next week.
Yeah. See you next week. Bye.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye.
If you got all the way to the end, we appreciate your support. Thank you for watching the NVRA whilst we bring you content of different games. If you like what we have done, please like and subscribe.